and NYPD officials, and I'm wondering what it is that you think will add to the subway safety. Subway crime is up 13% for the month of February. There seems to be another incident every single day. And even though you have surged some police officers into the system, there's still these incidents of crime. What are you going to do? What's the governor going to do? My second question. So the second question is, some teachers and students at Origin High School in Brooklyn say discrimination is going unchecked. They're calling for the principal to be removed. What are you going to do about it?
First, let's deal with the subway crime. We have Dan, the deputy chancellor, is here. He'll go into what's happening at the DOE in the schools. We know how important our subway system is. We were successful last year driving down subway crime, and we're going to do so this year. Now, overall crime is down, including double-digit decreases in murders and shootings in 2023 and double-digit decreases in subway crime in February 2024. Because I heard you say that it's up in February. It's actually down. And
no, you must have some out-of-date numbers. It's down by double digits.
13% for the year.
Okay. Okay. Right. There you are. There you are. I like how everybody jumps in to support you, Marsha. So, okay. Right.
Every day there's somebody who's pushed, stabbed, beaten, and people don't feel safe going into the subways. What are you going to do about it? What's the governor going to do about it? She said, I think she's talking about more money for cops and more mental health issues.
Okay, and so, number one, you're aware we have over 4 million riders on our subway system a day. Over 4 million. 4 million. We have an average of probably 6 felonies a day in that 4 million ridership. We want to get rid of every one of those 6 felonies, every one of them we want to get rid of. And from our subway safety plan to our initiative of dealing with those with severe mental health illnesses, what we're seeing, many of those attacks, you're seeing many of them are dealing with severe mental health illnesses. That's why we put in place our initiative, our outreach workers, our law enforcement, and others to go in and try to be proactive, not reactive. Our position is, let's not wait till someone do something that's harmful to themselves or others. Let's be proactive. And that's what this administration has continuously done. We know people feel unsafe, and we want to make sure that the balance of the actual safety match what they feeling. And that was part of the 12-hour tour to make sure we get a greater omnipresence. We need our officers out there. When I'm on the subway system and I speak with riders, they say, Eric, nothing makes us feel safer than seeing that officer at the token booth, walking through the system, walking through the trains, and that is what we want our officers do. We want what's called omnipresent, a very visible presence of that uniform. That is how you address how people are feeling in our system. And so we don't like to hear that there was a shooting on our subway system. We don't want to hear that someone slashed our conductor. I know what it is to be down there and patrol that system. We're going to continuously make sure we have our officers move as much as possible to show a greater visible presence to deal with how people are feeling in our subway system right now.
Is there going to be more money from the state to help you do that?
We're always asking for more. We believe that the governor came in, joined with us with the subway safety plan. We saw the results of that, a real success. That money ran out. And it's my strong belief that we must make sure that our everyday practices find the solutions to get the omnipresence we need and go after those bad people on our subway system that are committing crimes. And we would love for more help from the state. And the governor was a partner at the beginning of this administration, and we believe she's going to continuously be there again.
Did you ask for more money?
We asked for more money. We've asked for more deployment strategies and personnel, a team of things that we've done together, and we continue to do. The governor's clear the subway system must be safe, and it must actually, people must feel safe. She's clear on both of those, and she has articulated. That's why she stated, let's get in the room, let's sit down, let's figure this out together like we've always figured it out. Yes, Dan would talk about that.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Marsha, for the question. Dan Weisberg, First Deputy Chancellor. I'm really glad you're asking about the situation at Origins. Let me start with what we should always start with when we're talking about issues of anti-Semitism. We are seeing an alarming rise in anti-Semitic incidents across the country, in our city, and we'd be foolish to think that's not going to leak into our schools at all. It is outrageous. Nobody has been more forceful in denouncing anti-Semitism than the mayor and the chancellor. What the chancellor, when he announced his meeting the moment comprehensive plan to combat all forms of hate, but definitely including anti-Semitism, coming out of the very unfortunate incident that occurred at Hillcrest High School months ago, what he asked school leaders was to do the following. Don't put your head in the sand. Kids want to talk about these tough issues, whether it's the issues in Gaza or Israel or any other, Ukraine. Make sure that they have spaces to talk about these things. Make sure that all your educators and staff are comfortable moderating these very controversial subjects, the discussions of that. Be proactive about it. At Origins High School, we have a school leader who did exactly that. First of all, I want to say the cause of combating anti-Semitism is not served by people exaggerating or putting out false claims. The central claim that was in the initial article about the situation at Origins, about students rampaging through the hallway, many of them chanting anti-Semitic slogans, we can find no evidence of that. None. Zero. Including from educators who were in the hallways on that day. Not helpful to have that out there. Not helpful to demonize and paint with a broad brush students at an incredibly diverse school to demonize a principal who's trying to do the right thing. What do I mean by that? There were incidents in this school, like many schools, where students said inappropriate things to teachers. We don't want that to happen, whether it's anti-Semitic or homophobic or what have you. But in these cases, unlike some of the other cases we've dealt with, the principal reacted decisively. Students were disciplined when they broke the discipline code. But we know, the chancellor talked about this, I think, very eloquently. You're not going to change a situation, change a culture where there is any sort of bias just by disciplining students. That's not going to work. You have to educate. And what this principal did was create spaces in the school. There's many Muslim students, there's Jewish students, there's Jewish staff, for everybody to get together and talk about these difficult issues. She actually formed a partnership with the Museum of Jewish Heritage to come in to make sure that students who may not know the history of anti-Semitism, who may not know the richness of Jewish history, are learning about it. That's how we're going to solve this issue. And so I take this particularly hard to see a school, and by the way, Marsha, what I'll say is I've spent a lot of time on the phone and on video with people from the school, educators, Jewish students and families, as well as Muslim. There's a large Muslim population. What I'm hearing is universal outrage that their school is being portrayed as a hotbed of anti-Semitism because the vast, vast majority of staff, including Jewish staff, the principal herself is a proud Jew. The vast majority feel like this is a good environment, an inclusive environment where people generally feel safe. So when incidents happen, we have to act decisively, and we have to make sure we're educating our kids, but that's exactly what is going on. We continue to investigate. We'll follow up on any incident, but it seems like that's exactly what is happening at Origins High School.
So, and thanks, Dan, for coming here. It's a very complex topic, folks. I'm in these streets. I'm hearing some of the comments that people are making. This is a very, very painful moment in this issue. I hear from staffers on both sides of this issue that New York City has become the symbol of this entire issue, and making sure that voices are heard, making sure we're doing it in a way where these children are being inundated. Some of you should go to some of these social media platforms, and the children don't look at the daily news. They don't look at the newspapers. All of their information comes from social media. And that's part of our fight with social media. This stuff on social media is really, by the time these children get in school, they are inundated with hateful messages on all parts of this conversation. And this administration, we have to continue to find ways to do better in this environment. We're going to continue to get input from those who are professionals in this area, outside entities, hear from each other. The number of conversations we're having here right in this building, We have Jewish staffers, we have Muslim staffers, we have staffers from different walks of life right here. And if it's complex right here in City Hall, and if it's complex in some of your newsrooms, because don't tell me you're not experiencing it also, then you know it's going to be complex in schools, where our children are getting all of their information on this issue from social media. And so we're going to continue to try our best to get it right. We're going to try our best to get it right. But one thing I'm clear on, we're not going to hide the numbers. We're not going to pretend as though if there is an incident that let's downplay it. That is not going to happen. You don't solve a problem by ignoring a problem. But this is a complex time for this country, and I really think for the globe. We've had a meeting last week with Jewish leaders. We had a meeting last week with Muslim leaders, Palestine employees. We are knee deep in this, and we're not trying to run away from it. We're trying to face it head on. But no one in this room has the answer to how to solve this problem that we are facing right now.